YouTube. What's up, man? So it's your boy the Thuggy Thugster. Alright, we had to bring the judge character back, man. People love the judge, man. So Judge Mathis is back. He had a case this time. It wasn't with T. It's the first case that he didn't have with T. So it's the first case that he haven't had with T. This V4. So V3 of course had a different judge. But anyway, Judge Mathis had this case with this guy. His name Dre. He sued 12. And yeah, you gonna see what happened. There was a lot of evidence. It was a long case. We streamed it live on Twitch, so make sure you follow the Twitch, hit like for me and all that good stuff on the video. Make sure you sub to this channel right here, 2K content and GTA RP, mainly Whitelist, really only Grizzly World Whitelist for real. So Grizzly World Whitelist and NBA 2K23, that's what the channel is about. And make sure you come to the live stream too, cause we be lit over there, man. Stream every single day, even if it's just for a few hours. Let's get it, man. Thank y'all so much for the support. Enjoy the video. All right, 8 p.m. How's everybody doing tonight?
Good. How are you?
Better days, Judge. Better days.
Understandable. I'm actually doing great. I went shopping today, bought some new clothes.
Okay. All the other attorneys. Is there like a time frame? Because you know.
I mean, if he's not ready, you know.
Do we have an ETA on your other lawyer, young man?
Oh my God. Good evening. Good evening. How's everybody doing? Oh Jesus! Somebody get them in the toilet.
Is this your lawyer, young man? That's Miss Mia Cash.
Yes, Your Honor. Yes, Your Honor.
Sure.
Are the plaintiffs ready?
Okay. Go to my car real quick. Hold on. Grab my ID.
Yes, Your Honor. We're ready. We're ready to proceed.
All right. Court is in session. The plaintiff, you can go ahead and start with your opening statement.
Absolutely, Your Honor. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen of the court. Your Honor, my name is Mia Kesh. I'm here to represent my client in a very serious case of gross character that has been used by the LSPD. Unfortunately, today we gather because the LSPD has violated my client's constitutional rights. They also violated their oath when they struck them with their hands. Over and over and over again. And what was my client's crime? Why did he, quote unquote, deserve to be assaulted by the so-called LSPD? Because he was, quote unquote, talking shit. I apologize for my language. That's what they said, Judge. So
No
because
problem.
my client was exercising his freedom of speech, the police decided to put their hands on him. Now, I'm sure the defense will allege that my client also put his hands on them. And yeah, he did. You want to know why? Because he had to defend himself from the highly tactically trained officers and all of their violent acts against him. I would fight back too. Today, we plan to show that, like I said, the LSPD use their power in ways that violated my client's constitutional rights, which also made him fear for his life, caused him injury, also has prevented him from working. My client is an upstanding citizen who owns multiple businesses and is of harm to no one. That's it, Your Honor.
Thank you, young lady. Would the defense like to start with the opening statement?
Yes. Ladies and gentlemen, Your Honor, this case is about one man, and one man who wants to make the LSPD look like clowns in his circus. You will see that the evidence brought forth by the plaintiff is nothing more than fabrication, lies. You will see that Mr. Brown constantly antagonizes the LSPD officers with no provocation. I'm here today. The only thing that my client may be guilty of is maybe a small lapse of judgment.
Other than that, my client is not guilty of these crimes and charges. Thank you.
Thank you. Hey, Tate, love you, boy.
Now, Your Honor, I just arrived. Obviously, I just got off of my flight. I apologize for the delay. You know, I'm usually on time. In fact, I'm typically early.
Yes.
Has my client and our co-attorney here provided you with the necessary evidence yet? If not, I will happily send that to you, sir.
Yeah, they have. They mentioned something about more evidence. I just wanted to make sure everything has been submitted.
Okay.
Yeah,
Have you? Okay, everything been submitted already.
submit it right
Hey,
now.
Tate, love you, boy.
Yeah, if you
Big 25 months, my motherfucking
Just
brother.
got harassed, but I got witnesses in here, so they can come to the stand. They were all there. But I ain't got to submit it.
Okay. Your Honor, who? I don't. I'm hearing very loud thoughts for some reason. Doesn't make any sense. Strange. So let's go ahead and I want to call whoever's here to represent the LSPD. One of the officers who was involved in accosting my client to the stand. Can we do that?
Absolutely.
It was two. It was his name was Grizzley, and that guy right there.
All right, sir. Can you raise your right hand for me?
Yeah, hold on.
All right. Do you solemnly swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
I do.
You may proceed.
Gotcha.
Tate, again, my brother. I love you, bro. 25 months. Thank you, Coach.
Good afternoon. Can you state your name, your rank, and your badge number for the court, please?
Sergeant Alonzo Tenpenny, badge number 99.
Alonzo Tenpenny. Okay. And what is your rank? You said sergeant.
Sergeant, yes, ma'am.
How long have you been a part of the force?
Roughly 6 months and 5 days.
Do you remember the oath that you swore when you got your band?
Yes, ma'am.
Your Honor, if it's okay, I'd like to read that oath for the court.
You can proceed.
The law enforcement oath of honor states, on my honor, I will never betray my integrity, my character, or the public trust. I will always have the courage to hold myself and others accountable for our actions. I will always maintain the highest ethical standards, uphold the values of my community and the agency I serve. Does that sound familiar to you?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Now, can you tell me why you assaulted my client?
Mr. DeAndre Brown was in front of the LSPD, antagonizing and provoking us for several minutes. This wouldn't be the first case of him doing this. He did state that, you know, he was there to talk his daily shit to the PD. So this is something that normally happens.
Now, let me ask you this. What is a standard operating procedure for someone who is using intense language?
Not really one. I asked him to leave the area once or twice.
Okay, so what is the standard operating procedure? How would you normally handle that sort of situation?
Asking him to leave the scene and escorting him off.
Okay, and did that happen?
I definitely gave him multiple warnings to leave the scene.
Okay, my question was, did that happen?
Yes, ma'am.
So you detained him and removed him from the scene?
No, ma'am. I gave him multiple warnings to leave.
So again, I'll ask you, what is the standard operating procedure?
Escort the gentleman off the scene.
Question
Okay.
for you: were you in the front or back of him when you use your force?
I do not recall.
You don't recall? Okay, you were in the back, by the way.
Okay.
Your Honor, would you mind if we went ahead and just reviewed that evidence?
Absolutely.
Of that situation? Okay, I believe you have it in your email.
I do. I'm about to review it right now. Let me pull up my tablet.
Tough talk, walk around this motherfucker with your hand on your Glock.
Spin this bitch. That's
Blow
all
that
I
bitch.
gotta say.
Blow that bitch.
Spin this bitch.
Blow that bitch. Fuck
Yo,
you
do
talking
niggas
about.
even know you?
My nigga Zan, what
You
up?
said-
What? Zagan, what up?
Man,
What?
Get the step in, bro.
Alright, bro, it's either sign
Go.
off. You staying here or not, bro? Come on.
Yo, you trying to hit
You was
He
a
tried to
bitch.
punch him and run.
You was a bitch.
He
You
tried
was
to
a
punch him.
bitch.
Yep, I know
You
all
was a
that. Yeah.
bitch. Shut the
Yep,
fuck
all
up.
that.
Shut the
Yep,
fuck up,
yep.
nigga. You's a bitch. You's a
Yeah.
bitch. You's a
Yeah.
bitch.
Yeah.
Shut the fuck
I know.
up.
What else? Huh?
Nigga, you don't
What
want to
else?
fight, do you? What you want to do, nigga?
What else?
Hit about
huh?
it. Hit about it.
Man, I will
You shut
end
the
you,
fuck
bro.
up, nigga.
Pussy ass, man. Get this
Hey.
motherfucker, man.
Hit about it.
But look though,
Man, I will.
look though, he ran all the way up.
Man, I will end.
He ran all the way up with force and hitting, bro.
nigga.
It's not
Hit body.
looking good, bro. It's not looking
body.
good, bro.
Man,
Now, okay, let's put everything in perspective. This nigga DeAndre is disrespectful as hell, okay? He is. He talking crazy, all right? He talking crazy. But here's the thing. The police are the police, and they should be professional. Now, at the end of the day, they still human, right? So the human in him is like, nigga, you not finna fucking disrespect me. I'm finna knock your ass the fuck out, right? So I understand his way of thinking. However, it's unprofessional for the police to do that. This guy is a straight up asshole, simple as that. He's antagonizing them, talking about shit. But here's the thing though, chat, we gotta remember the First Amendment. The First Amendment, you have the right to say whatever. Now, you ain't gotta be like you with the disrespectful, like the crazy slurs type stuff with the racials and we ain't talk about like that. We talk about just like he called him the B word. Now him calling him the B word, the police have the right to say that shit back. They got the right to call him a bitch back. You see what I'm saying? But however, they shouldn't because they gotta be professional. So with that being said, he was antagonizing them, but that don't give him the right to hit him though. Now when he told him shut the fuck up, nigga, he got the right to say that, but he don't got the right to hit him though. So now he hitting him back. Of course he hitting him back.
You niggas is hoes.
Shut up.
Yup. Yup. Yup.
Go ahead.
Yep.
Do what I think you finna do.
You niggas is bitches.
Yep.
You niggas is bitches.
He just hit me. He just hit me.
Oh, you going to jail, sir?
You just hit me first, bitch ass nigga.
No, you're not getting arrested, but you definitely finna get packed now.
Okay, so I know like on here, this like the, cause that's like the end of that. So let's go. Come on, let them. Come on, my nigga. Oh, there we go. Okay.
No, you're not getting arrested, but you definitely finna get packed now.
Yep.
Go to sleep, little nigga. You tired?
Knocked him out.
Look at him. Look at him. Slunt with his pink ass drawers.
I'm gonna have a fucking field day with internal affairs. Oh my goodness. I'm gonna have a field day.
Get your ass up.
I'm gonna have a field day with internal affairs.
Ain't you knocked out? How you talking unconscious?
Oh my goodness.
Told him to go to sleep before he knocked him out.
What's your name,
He
sir?
just talking. T3, he just talking.
Yeah.
Whoa, why are you slumped on the floor? Sir?
These officers just beat my ass.
Are you serious?
Yes. Are you an attorney?
Yes, sir, I am.
Yeah. I want to sue the fucking department. That is
made me want to
unacceptable.
make an attorney.
To the department.
Yes, the whole fucking LSPD. So let me tell you something.
Man,
You
did
just
get
fucking.
knocked the fuck out?
That's
Yeah,
exactly
you
what he
did it to me.
contacted
Alright
for,
then.
sir.
Take it like a man.
Listen
or
here.
or
What the
lawyer,
fuck
like
do you
a
mean
man.
take it like a man? You just
Listen
beat my
here,
ass.
Take it like a man. Or lawyer to
Listen
fuck
here,
up like you
fellas.
did. Fucking tough
So
ass
why
niggas.
did you and this
Sick.
cop right here just beat my ass?
I am not-
Why did y'all just beat my? Oh my goodness!
Oh, hey, hold on. Shawty swung at him. Yo, Shawty swung at him though. Hey, look, hold on. Hold on, she thinking about it and she swing.
I am not-
Hey.
Why did y'all just beat my? Oh my goodness! Oh my goodness! Oh my goodness!
Maybe she didn't try to. Maybe she didn't try to. Maybe it was a muscle spasm. It could have been a muscle
Why the
spasm.
fuck did you just beat my ass?
This guy over here.
It could have been a muscle spasm.
And he said he got his ass beat.
So I got my ass beat because I was talking shit.
All of that. Whatever come with that, come with that. You got out.
By this officer right here. I didn't
All right,
see
now,
anything.
now listen.
It was this
I'ma
cop
tell you,
too. He
gentlemen,
beat
straight
my
like
ass
this.
too.
Sir, I just clocked on duty. I had
Nah,
no
it wasn't this
clue
guy.
what you were
Captain,
talking
is
about.
oh, this is the chief.
That is
Chief!
not the chief, sir. I am
Chief!
the acting chief as of right
Chief,
now.
Chief, please. Oh my
Stanley, can you
goodness.
please tell him?
Hey, lawyer.
Please tell him the acting
Lawyer,
chief.
come on. No. Hey, officer, please back. Please
Let him
back.
know I am acting chief.
No,
Thank you, sir.
can you please stop?
Sir, I cannot. You cannot just grab a cop, sir.
No. I know him. We go back in the day. And she
sir,
just
he is
watched
not
him
the
beat
chief
my
as
ass.
of right now, partner.
Chief.
That is not the chief.
I'm 1097. I'm 1097.
Chief.
You said in the cells?
Chief.
He's trespassing.
Chief.
Arrest him.
Oh, hey, what's going on, man?
Bro, your officers are corrupt. I'm talking to your chief. Can you please, go find something to do, sir?
Sir, you are now trespassing.
Sir, I'm talking to you. I was with your
At this time,
chief.
you have the right to
I was
remain
with your
silent.
chief, sir.
Anything you say can and will be
Please
used
stop.
against you into the court of
Please
law.
stop,
You have
sir.
the right to an attorney.
Chief,
If
can you
cannot
tell him I was
afford
with
one,
you?
won't be appointed to you by the state of
Me and your
Missouri.
chief was having a
You
conversation.
understand
I
his
understand
rights
you
have
want a
been
promotion, sir, but please, this is not the way to do it.
Hey, what you want to do with him? Calm, sir. What you want to do?
Chief.
I don't like to use community service. You can just take him back outside.
Chief.
Something very
No, you just said you beat my fucking ass in front of PD.
No, I did not.
Mr. Brown.
Hey, this phone in my pocket got everything on fucking record.
That's cool. I didn't see it. Hey, when did you pull out a phone before? I ain't never seen no phone.
You see this phone in my fucking front right pocket?
Beat it like your, beat it
Shut the
beat it
fuck
like your
up.
daddy
Shut the
said.
fuck up. You's a bitch,
Beat it like
nigga.
your-
You's
your
a
daddy
bitch.
used to
You's a
say
bitch.
leave.
You's a bitch. That's why your bitch ass became 12.
That's why you up here with a lawyer though, but I'm a bitch. You up here with a lawyer, but I'm a bitch. I ain't got
I'm
no
up here with a lawyer because I
bitch.
want fucking justice brought to this fucking city.
Can you control your officer? Can you control your officer, sir?
You's a
Hey, if you can
bitch.
control your client, I can try.
A lawyer because I want fucking justice brought to.
You up here
He said, "Now he got the police got the right to talk shit to him because he got the First Amendment." But he said, "You up here with a lawyer? I use these hands. He amend to the shit.
I'm up here with a lawyer because I want fucking justice brought to this fucking city.
He said, "I use these hands.
Can you control your officer, sir?
You's a
Hey, if you can
bitch.
control your client, I can try to control.
What's your rank in this department? What's your rank in this department?
Hey, don't even.
Oh, so now you my daddy. Wow. You know I don't even have a father. I don't even have a father. So I'm
Admit to
highly
that
offended.
video too.
I'm highly offended by that.
And this is the doctor.
My name is Dr. Hank Hill.
Dr. Hill, how many times have you saw this man in this here hospital?
This is like my third or fourth time seeing this patient here.
Okay, Hank, so you saw him about a couple days ago, right? A couple days ago is correct, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so is it true or false that this man told you when he came here that the police beat him up?
Yes, sir. He definitely told me.
Okay.
Assaulted by the LSPD.
Assaulted. Okay. Is it true or false that you asked this man a couple questions about himself and he couldn't answer because you diagnosed him with a concussion?
Yes, he had short-term memory loss. He had severe trauma to his head.
Okay, so how did he get to his car? Do you know?
I have no idea. He has been on crutches. He's been in a soft cast for a few weeks now. He's been on crutch. I don't know who has picked him up or how that's.
But is it true or false that he couldn't get himself to his car and he couldn't drive his car?
He could not get himself to his car.
So
Has everyone had a chance to review the evidence?
Yes, Your Honor. And
Yes,
did
Your
you
Honor.
sign off on this subpoena for the video evidence?
That evidence
evidence?
was from the client's cell phone, to my knowledge. I mean, I'm sorry, from the plaintiff's cell phone.
Mm. Do you have an issue with the integrity of the footage? Are you saying that it wasn't in fact recorded by his
I
phone?
was just asking, ma'am. I can't ask
Okay.
questions.
No,
Thank
I'm
you
just
so much.
asking. I'm just wondering. I need to know so I could properly form my questions here. You know. All right. So, after reviewing the footage, officer, let me ask you a question. What is your
Yes,
rank
ma'am.
again?
Sergeant.
Sergeant. Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
Very interesting. So, when you said, and I quote Judge again, I apologize for the language, I'll send this bitch with your hand placed on your police issued weapon. What did you mean?
I didn't really mean nothing by it. I was just talking. You know how it is.
Your Honor, can you remind this gentleman here that he is sworn in and he could be held under perjury?
You are under oath, young man.
Yes, sir. No reminder needed. I was just talking. Didn't
So
really
what does
mean
that
nothing
mean?
behind the
What does
words
that
that I
mean?
said at the time.
Okay, but what does that mean?
I really don't know, to be honest with you, man.
Did you want to ask him some questions? I know you had some things on your notes. Got it. Anna, give us just a moment. My co-attorney here seems to be having some issues with his hearing aids. Now I'll ask you this in the meantime, okay? Did my client ever brandish a weapon?
No.
In your standard operating procedure, does it ever call for you to use force against a civilian?
Unless that civilian is has the equal force,
So
match force with force.
did my client hit you first?
No, man.
Where in your SOP does it say that you should assault a client? I mean, a civilian.
Does not at all.
So your attorney says that you had a lapse of judgment. So would you say that that's correct?
It's definitely bad judgment on mine.
So if you were the only person with a lapse of judgment, why did your other fellow officers do the same thing?
Can't speak for no one that is not here, ma'am. I don't know why they did the actions that they did. I can only speak for myself.
But you can testify that your fellow officers also assaulted my client.
After also receiving, a couple hits to the head, I don't know if he did or didn't. I'm not saying he did or he did not. I know what I did and I remember my actions specifically.
And did you review the same footage that we did?
Yes, ma'am.
May I ask Officer Tenpenny some questions?
Absolutely.
I cross-examine. Mr. Tenpenny, first and
Yes, ma'am.
foremost, I want to give my condolences to you for the loss of your brother, Chief Terry Tenpenny. You must be under a lot of stress.
It's more than you can imagine, man.
And don't you run a whole department by yourself as well?
Not specifically by myself, but yes, I do majority of the detective work for the LSPD.
Right.
I want this job.
And have you had previous encounters with my plaintiff?
Kyle.
Never had many encounters. I just know that other officers have had him outside in front of PD, harassing him, calling him names and such, and
Correct.
provoking.
And from my understanding, he has never been detained, correct?
No, man. I
Now,
believe the client or the gentleman over there, Mr. Brown, has a clean record.
Right. Now, the night of the altercation, Mr. Brown can be heard at the 30-second mark in the very first piece of evidence, saying, and I quote, "If do you want to fight about it?" Correct.
Yes, ma'am.
And you struck him once, and you walked away.
Yes, ma'am.
You were done, correct? You just struck him once. He said he wanted to fight about it, then you just hit him inside the head, which is a lapse of judgment. We have agreed to that, correct?
Yes, ma'am.
Now, the rest of the incident was Mr. Brown's on doing. He kept attacking you, correct, from behind.
Yes, man. After I struck him once, I did walk away, and then he did proceeded to hit me multiple times.
Yes. Now, he doesn't have a record, but he has many run-ins with PD. Would it be safe to say that Mr. Brown is possibly looking for trouble?
I would say he definitely
I
is.
object, Your Honor. I object. Possible run-ins with PD. What does that mean? He stepped in some bubble gum, and the cops saw him step in
No,
bubble
he
gum.
has
There's
many
nothing on
run.
his record. I object. There's nothing here to submit.
Objection
Exactly.
sustained.
He also is my plaintiff. Has also
I've never been arrested before.
never been arrested, but have many run-ins and conversations. Very hostile towards
I
police.
object.
Correct, Mr.
Nothing on the
Tenpenny?
record.
He hasn't been arrested because he's very good at what he does. I
I
assume.
object. Trying to paint my client as a criminal, Your Honor. This is.
Unacceptable.
We're done with this client. Move on to the next piece of evidence. We don't mind.
Do we have any more witnesses for the court?
I would like to call my client to the stand.
Can you raise your right hand, sir? Do you swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
I do, sir.
You may proceed.
Are you okay? Before we begin, do you need a tissue or anything?
No, ma'am, I still got the one you gave me, the handkerchief.
Okay, yeah, I see a tear building up in your eye. It's okay, all right?
Okay.
So, let me ask you this. When you came to the police department, did you expect to be assaulted?
No, ma'am.
Do you have any long-standing injuries from what happened?
No, ma'am, I did have a short concussion, though.
And what did that concussion do to you?
I was out of work for around, how long was it? I got short, memory loss too, short term. I don't know how long it was, but my boss is actually in the room.
Okay, now who is your boss?
His name is Dre Jordan. He's the owner down there at the ammunition gun store.
Okay. Now, how has this affected your day-to-day?
A lot. I mean, I get made fun of. Um, I lost a couple family members to this. They told me I'm not the guy that they thought they were, or they used to think I was. I mean, it's affected a lot in my life.
Have you ever had any other run-ins with the law?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, tell me about those.
Every time I seem to run into it with law enforcement, it never goes how it's supposed to. I mean, one time I was being pulled over, a simple traffic stop for speeding. They turned it into a felony stop. I had guns aimed at me. I mean, I don't know what reason for.
Objection, hearsay, not on the record.
This is not hearsay. This actually happened to my client. It's his own personal testimony.
He's running with PD?
Yes, it's his testimony, aka it happened to him. It's first person. It can't be hearsay if it happened to him.
Okay, we'll see.
I had guns aimed at my car. They walked up saying they smelled weed. They searched my car. I don't know how they searched my vehicle. Searched my vehicle. It's a lot of people that I think on the department that are not supposed to be on the department. They bring their personal emotions to the workplace.
Now, have you ever been arrested before?
No, ma'am.
And anytime you've interacted with the police and they've searched you, have they found anything illegal?
No, ma'am.
What do you think is causing the police to act toward you this way?
They see a young, successful man out here owning multiple businesses. They want to be a part of that lifestyle. That's my only assumption.
Okay. Now, on that day, I know it's probably hard for you to remember some things, but just try, okay? We have the video here. How many times were you struck, would you say?
It was well over 20 times.
And
I even got made fun of.
After the officer, the sergeant, punched you, what caused you to basically hit them back?
Adrenaline. I was raised the way that I cannot be hit and not hit an officer back. I mean, it doesn't matter who you are. You hit me, I'm defending myself.
So it was self-defense.
Yes, ma'am.
Did you fear for your life?
Yes, ma'am.
Did at any point in time the officers threaten you with their weapons, whether drawn or not drawn?
Yes, ma'am.
Can you point out those officers here in the room?
I think the one that said his brother died, it was him for sure. And it was the guy with dreads.
Okay. At this time, My co-attorney here. Do you have any questions for our client before we allow the defense to speak?
Oh no, ma'am.
Okay.
Would the defense like to cross-examine the witness?
Yes, Your Honor. Hello, Mr. Brown. How are you?
I'm doing good, and you now?
Good. Now, in the opening statement, your attorney stated that you could not work. Correct?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you receive a work injury form?
No, ma'am. I have very close contact with my boss.
Okay. And so you have any restrictions from work?
You said restrictions?
Were you placed, did they tell you any restrictions from work by any chance?
No, ma'am. I use paid time off.
Alrighty. I have a question. Is there any officer in court today that you have seen at your place of work?
I'm to my knowledge, I can't point them out directly. Like I stated, I do have a little short-term memory loss.
You sure there's nobody here that you've seen? Just want to make sure that you to take a close look. Don't answer so swiftly.
Where's the cop that was just walking? He was standing up in the courtroom.
Oh, I didn't see
He's on the back row. He's on the back row. I actually just got harassed by him and his officers down at my establishment.
While you were working?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So EMS did they put you on any type of crutches or anything the night of the incident?
Yes, ma'am.
So
it was the
you
night
were,
of. I've had multiple checkups.
right, so you were unconscious.
No, ma'am.
Why were you put on crutches?
I had an MRI done.
Right. And do you see the EMS worker that possibly gave you the MRI here today?
Yes, ma'am.
Can you point him out for me, please?
I think he's on that third row in the back.
All right, so I wanted to point out that he's talking about EMS Dr. Hank Hill. I'm actually done questioning the plaintiff here. I would like to call Hank Hill to stand.
Could I cross-examine just some points that are brought up here?
Yes.
Okay, so you say that these officers harassed you just prior to this, correct?
Yes, ma'am.
Was there anybody there present for the record that witnessed this happening?
Yes, ma'am. Multiple people.
Are any of them in this courtroom right now?
Yes, ma'am. It was my boss, Dre Jordan, my other my coworker, also / co-owner, Antoine McGillicuddy, and also Mr. Johnny Cash.
Okay. Your Honor, I'm going to go ahead and allow them to call the witness if it's okay with you, but after that, I would like to call those people to the stand as well.
That sounds good to me.
Okay.
I would like to call Nigel Belvins to the stand first.
I thought they just asked for EMS to go to the stand.
Hello, ma'am.
These officers are
Please raise your right hand. Do you solemnly swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth? So help you God.
Hello, Miss Bevins. How are you?
Pretty good.
And you mind telling me how long you've been with the PD?
I want to say about 4 months.
4 months. Okay. Can you please tell me your
Sorry, we
Can you think about shout?
Can you
Sorry. 4 months. 4 months.
4 months. Can you please tell me your have you had any dealings or run-ins with the plaintiff, Mr. Brown?
No, ma'am.
Have you seen him at the gun store?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. And was he fully working? Did he appear injured or anything?
He did not appear injured. He was indeed wearing the ammunition uniform, black and red ammunition shirt, khaki pants, as well as a gun holster on his leg.
All right. So that's pretty heavy equipment for someone who was hurt, correct?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. And when was this?
This was today.
Today. Okay.
Yeah.
Is there anything else you'd like to share with me today about what you
I
witnessed,
talked to Miss
Mr. Brown?
Bree. I was cleared this morning.
No, ma'am. I have no more information.
Okay. Thank you so much for your testimony today.
Actually, I'd like to ask her a couple questions as well.
No problem.
Hello, ma'am. Oh my gosh, your hair
Hello.
is so beautiful. Thank you for coming today. I know your job is very stressful as an internal affairs agent for the LSPD.
Mm-hmm.
So my question to you is, have you ever had any complaints about any of the officers that were shown in the footage today?
Other than the cases that we currently have, no, ma'am.
Cases?
Yes, ma'am. There's another case a few hours later.
Okay, involving those same officers?
No, ma'am.
So you have no formal complaints against these officers from anyone else?
No, ma'am. I do post my number a lot to get just information and for reports on officers. The only report I do have from a civilian is no longer working with PD.
Okay, now here's my other question. Are any of these officers, Mr. Tenpenny and Mr. Crenshaw, have they received any disciplinary strikes recently?
I believe Mr. Tenpenny has.
Okay, no further questions.
The defense can call the next witness to the stand.
Okay, I would like to call Mr. Dr. Hank Hill to the stand, please. What you got? People in the room you want to talk to?
All right, sir. Can I have you raise your right hand, please? Perfect. Do you solemnly swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
I just had a conversation with him.
Thank you.
At
Proceed.
Pillbox. And he told me that he was notified he needs to testify in court. I'm not sure the truth of that or not.
Okay. Hello, sir. How are you today?
I'm great. How are you?
Doing great. Oh my gosh, you have such a lovely voice, fit for radio.
Thank you.
Okay, so my questions today, okay? Have you, I mean, we saw in the video, right, that you apparently assessed my client. Is this true or false?
That's true.
So you are the doctor that was in the video, correct?
Correct.
Now, my client came in, and what was your general assessment of him?
Well, I initially treated Mr. Brown. He suffered injuries to his leg, to his arm, injuries that were severe at the time. Anything else?
Did he have a concussion?
At the initial appointment, yes, he did have a concussion.
Okay. Now, a concussion.
sister laying down
What is that usually caused by?
Some type of blood force trauma to the head of some sort.
For example, could that be caused by being punched in the back of the head?
I was not able to determine exactly what the injury was caused from, but
Sure, but could it have been caused by a punch to the head?
yes, possibly.
Okay. Could it have been caused by multiple punches to the head?
Yes, possibly.
Okay. Now, it is to my understanding that my client saw you again. Is that correct?
Yes, ma'am. He did come in for a follow-up checkup.
Okay. And what was your assessment then?
Honestly, when he came in, I had did a full extensive MRI because I couldn't find out exactly what was bothering him. He was telling me something was bothering him. So I had to do an extensive checkup. I put him through all type of MRI tests and things of that, and I could not find out what was wrong with him at the moment.
Okay. Now, I heard you testify in the video. My co-attorney here was asking you questions about the state of my client. What can you tell me about what you observed, the behavior or injuries you observed about from my client?
Um, honestly, I'm sorry. I deal with so many patients. I honestly can't remember.
That's fine. That's understandable. We have the video from when you explained. That's fine. That's fine. I completely understand. But okay, last question that I have for you. Is it your medical and professional opinion that my client had a concussion from injuries that he sustained that day?
Yes, from the initial incident. Yes, he had severe injuries.
Okay. Thank you so much.
I have a couple questions. Did anyone come up to you and ask you any questions about Mr. Brown?
No.
Okay, that's all.
Hey y'all. He just told me
Dr.
before
Hanky, how
court
are you?
he was informed he needs to testify.
That's fine. That's fine. That's fine.
And he told me he didn't want to, but he said he wasn't coming. I don't know if this guy was paid or something, but Mr. Cash was there during that conversation.
Okay. Can I proceed, or are y'all done
Think
talking?
about. Can you think about shout, please?
Yes. Can you hear me?
Yes.
We can hear you fine now.
Hey, Dr. Hill, how are you
Yes,
today?
ma'am. I'm great.
Okay.
How are you?
I'm good. So you're saying that you initially treated the night of the incident, Mr. Brown,
Yes, ma'am.
but earlier you told me that you did not. You stated that you was not there, that you only treated him for the video.
Yes. I have so many patients, Miss. I do remember I see Mr. Brown a lot. He comes in and get treated a lot. He is a patient of mine.
Okay.
Is he
And
shouting?
are you shouting? Think about shout.
Yes, I'm shouting now. Can
Okay,
you hear
so
me?
right, so I want to make sure I understand. So did you just testify to Miss Cash that you did treat him on the night of the incident and his follow up, or no?
Yes, I see Mr. Brown all the time. I honestly don't remember if that was the night that you guys are saying he was assaulted by the police or what.
So you
But
don't remember that night.
I don't remember.
Okay. And what about this video? Were you coerced in any way or paid to do this video of any sort, or this is just
No, I was not paid, but I was definitely trying to just help Mr. Brown and figure out his injuries. So yes, I did not. He made a full recovery based off my synopsis of the video.
okay? So when you saw him, he was no injuries. He was fully fine.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so no one paid you to do this video. You wasn't coerced. It wasn't. You did this on your own.
Yes, ma'am. It was an attempt of, like I said, just trying to secure and make sure his injuries were not bothering him.
And was he able to work?
Yes, he's able to work. He's fine. He makes full recovery.
He did. Okay. All right. That's all I have for you.
Okay. Your Honor, if it's possible, I would like to call Mr. Antoine McGillicuddy to the stand.
Yes. Thank you, Doctor. Doctor, you can leave the stand now.
We'll go over all that.
All right, thank you.
She just basically attempted to make him seem like a bad witness. We'll go over that.
She definitely did. She did.
It's all right, though. It's
Okay. You ready, sir? You please raise your right hand. Do you solemnly swear to tell the truth, the whole
Not
truth, and
always
nothing
he's
but
there
the
if
truth, so
God
help you God?
I do.
Thank you, sir. You may proceed.
Yeah, I don't think he was paid. Hello, sir. How are you today?
I'm good.
Can you tell me, does anybody here in this court work for you?
DeAndre Brown.
Okay, can you point him out for me?
He's the gentleman over to the side.
Okay, now, my client said that you witnessed today the police force at your place of business. Is this correct?
Correct.
Okay, can you tell me what exactly happened in that situation?
There was a gentleman that was outside, and he got into an argument with Johnny, and apparently, I guess a gunshot went off or something like that, and PD pulled up, and when they pulled up, they searched the gentleman that was outside. At this point, Mr. Brown had already went inside along with Mr. Jordan, and they were asking questions in regards to who shot. And basically, when they went inside, they harassed that gentleman over there, and it was asking him, do you know anything? Did you shoot? And they just threw him in cuffs and basically harassed him, saying that he was the guy that shot. But once they GSR tested him, he came back negative.
So, is it your opinion in observing what happened today that they targeted my client? Is there any reason for them to assume he was the person who shot?
Not that I'm aware of, no. Just being a black man, I guess, there.
Wow. Okay. Have you ever had any interactions with these police before?
I try my best to stay away from the police. I mean, they do come up to the establishment a lot because we are a gun store and we do provide certain things that they can utilize to assist them in, I guess, fighting crime. But outside of that, I try my best to avoid them.
Got you. Now, as far as my client goes, are you aware of when he was medically cleared for work?
I'm unaware of that. I actually was unaware of the whole incident in itself, seeing as though that usually when I'm around, his hours of work are different from mine. I just found out today that he was violently attacked, and my condolences go out to his family and whoever was a part of that during his healing process. But I was unaware that he was injured. Maybe that's why I haven't seen him around. Maybe he spoke with the other owner and submitted, I guess, information as to why he couldn't come to work.
Got you. Okay. Thank you so much. I have no further questions for you.
You're welcome.
I'm good.
I would like to call my brother, Mr. Johnny Cash, to the stand, please.
All right.
All right, sir. Can you please raise your right hand? Do you swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
I do.
Thank you. You may proceed.
Mr. Cash, how are you today?
I'm all right. How you doing?
I'm doing. It's nice to see that you've showered today. All right. So I just have one question. Okay.
Mhm.
Did you witness the police interaction at the ammunition store today?
I did. Yes. I definitely witnessed them harassing Mr. DeAndre Brown. When I first pulled up, there was like a little bit. There was a little argument. We actually pulled up together, so there was a little argument that happened or whatever. He went
He did
inside,
his job.
and
Okay.
can you hear me?
Also asked Johnny
Yeah.
about the when we were
Sorry.
talking at the EMS. When we were
Basically,
talking EMS.
there was a little argument happened. A shot rang off. I don't know who did it. Wasn't really paying attention. DeAndre came outside just to see what was going on. We went inside. The cops came in with guns. They actually pointed guns at me and him, and they told him to put his hands up or whatever. Somebody apparently accused him of shooting somebody. He was tested for GSR and he was negative.
Now, did you during that time were any statements made that would lead you to believe that they were specifically targeting Mr. Brown?
I mean, the minute Mr. Brown walked back into the store, they came in rushing with guns. It wasn't no tasers; it was lethal. We didn't show no threat. I was just stopping by there to see Mr. Jordan, and we were telling them to, relax, relax. They were yelling with their guns out. I actually got it on camera too.
Did you?
Yep, I had my camera out.
Your Honor, if possible, can we just take a brief, 2 to 3 minute recess so we can collect that footage from Mr. Cash and I could distribute it to both you as well as the defense because it is now part of discovery.
Yes.
Thank you so much, Judge. Mr. Cash, would you mind emailing that footage to me?
Olivia, you
No
want to step
problem.
out for a second?
Yeah, I do. This is.
It's some juicy shit, chat.
y'all at? Did you see the guy in the back with the suit on?
If you don't get this man out of
that guy right there.
shit.
The guy. Did you check him for GSR? Him right there. Come on, Johnny.
This man right
the
there.
guy with the shirt on. That's the guy.
Yo, check him for GSR. He ain't got no GSR.
Whoa!
Sir. We got reports.
That's the guy that shot me. That's the guy that shot me right there.
Right now, sir.
Him right there. That's the guy that shot me.
Yo, let him check you for GSR.
Watch out.
Bro, check him for GSR.
Check him for GSR. Check him for GSR.
Look away. Put your hands where we can see him right now.
No, what you gonna do is listen.
Check me for GSR.
Wait, listen, officer. What you gonna do is listen to me. What are you gonna do is check him for GSR. That's all you gonna do. If that bitch come back negative,
you guys are really harassing me before court.
yeah, check him for GSR.
You guys are really harassing me before court. Sir, you are harassing the shit out of me.
Crash. Crash, can one of you open these doors for me, please?
Yeah, sure, no problem. I need y'all to go ahead and perform y'all GSR test kit, because this is unacceptable.
Yeah. This man gonna have he gonna have a double case on y'all ass.
Yes. This is harassment. This is fucking harassment. You's a bitch, nigga. You's a bitch.
Yeah, just let him do his job. You already about to hit their ass for 2.5. It's gonna make another 2.5 in a minute.
This $5 million right here. This $5 million. This $5 million. Oh my god. Harassment at its fucking finest.
At its fucking finest. That's crazy.
We have a male suspect out here. He just lockpicked the guy.
What's your name and badge?
Watch him. I'm gonna chase him.
No. Speaking of camera.
Outside over here. They're gone. They're at the main gun store. There's a Grizzley customs worker.
I'm a fucking dog. So you gonna walk off when I ask you for your name and badge number?
Go ahead and GSR
You have a
test him.
statement from Mr. Crash, the owner?
All right, say that. Don't worry about it.
Yeah, go ahead and GSR test him real
Name
quick.
and badge.
Nah, so this right here, what they were saying is this was DeAndre brought this up. So what the defense is saying that Crash lied.
Did you see the guy in the back with the suit on?
If you
So that's Crash talking right now.
don't get this man out of
that guy right there.
shit.
The guy. Did you check him for GSR? Him right there. Come on, Johnny.
This man right
The
there.
guy with the shirt on. That's the guy.
Yo, check him for GSR. He ain't got no GSR.
Whoa!
Sir. We got reports.
That's the guy that shot me. That's the guy that shot me right there.
Crash said that was the guy that shot him though. He got a good graphic pack. I was thinking the same thing. Well, I wish I had that shit. What is this right here? Him working today? Oh, this him working. Well, that's him working today. So that's about him having a concussion. Okay. Hold on. We got more evidence. Dr. Hill states Mr. Brown is a frequent patient at Pillbox. On the night of the incident, Mr. Brown suffered injuries to his leg, body, and dislocated shoulder. A day or so later, Mr. Brown received a follow-up treatment by Dr. Hill and had made a full recovery. The video shows Dr. Hill going extensively into detail about Mr. Brown's injuries, but that video was fabricated by Dr. Hill. He was under the impression this was being recorded for a skit for TikTok or YouTube. Oh, Mr. Brown attempted to pay Dr. Hill for the fabrication of the video, but Dr. Hill confused. Dr. Hill states that Mr. Brown is no longer suffering from his injury on the night of the incident. I, Hank Hill, certify and sign this statement. Look, man. Hey, man, hold on. What the audio in the video? They not slick. Nah, they no audio, but I mean, this evidence is showing that him being at work. So this evidence is to show that he was at work. So that's what this for. They threatened him. You think she was threatening him? I mean, that's hearsay. That's hearsay. All right. Has everyone had a chance to review the evidence?
Yes, Your Honor. Can we go step into your chambers? Me, you, and my co-attorney, and of course the defense over there.
Absolutely.
All right. Thank you. So first things first, right? The evidence that recently just came into light is clearly just an attempt to smear my client. Now, taking all things into account, I see the issue with Crash, right? I'm willing to wipe that off the table. It still has nothing to do with the matter at hand, okay? That being said, I don't think that this evidence should be permitted from the IA officer who claimed that she hadn't really had any run-ins with my client, so also lied under oath. And also, there's no documented proof that that was recorded anytime recently. That, for all we know, that was recorded today, which my client was actually cleared to return to work this morning by the chief of EMS, Miss Bree.
He didn't even have a work injury form
He
signed in the
did.
first place.
Listen. Let me ask you a question. Have you ever seen a work injury form, or are you just pulling that out of your ass?
Not pulling out of my ass. When someone has an injury of some sort and he claims
He
he could not
took
work.
paid time off to deal with his concussion.
Okay, so why did he need a release form to go back to work if it was paid
He
time
got
off on his
cleared.
own
He
personal?
got cleared because he was having issues with his memory. He went to see Miss Bree, who also gave him another MRI and took care of him today. Now, Miss Bree's not here today to testify, but he was cleared for work. So this evidence that your IA agent is displaying today, after claiming she didn't have any interactions with my client, is clearly just an attempt to make it seem like he is lying under oath, and I don't appreciate that. There is no proof that that footage was even recorded. Could have been recorded 3 weeks ago, 2 months ago, 4 months ago.
Understood.
All right. One thing is that young man did lie under oath because he clearly pointed out Mr. Brown as someone that shot him. So his
The EMS
testimony.
as well.
So basically, how did the EMS lie?
There's a statement that he wrote that he stated that he fabricated the whole story for Mr. Brown, but he thought it was a YouTube clip.
Wait a minute, Your Honor. He told us that no one has talked to him before this. So are you saying that you talked to him?
Yes,
He
and
did
you
not
spoke
want
with
to
the witness prior to the case?
So
How
he
did you
came-
even know that he would be turning up? Your Honor, this is crazy.
This
I'm
is
not gonna
crazy, Your
lie.
Honor.
Can I answer, or are you just gonna?
The witness told us that he didn't speak to anyone prior about this case. So what is really going on here?
He was subpoenaed. I asked the judge for a subpoena for him last night. One of the chiefs, Chief Bree, I believe, told him that he would have to testify. He
Your
said
Honor,
he
but
did
the
not want to
client
testify.
told us that he didn't speak to anyone beforehand.
Okay.
So this, I don't,
All
and
right,
your
so
officer
since
was
I
just.
can't speak without being cut off,
This is
that's
wild,
fine,
Your Honor.
Your Honor.
No, I want to hear what you have to say, young lady.
So he came. He said he was not comfortable speaking with us, so he gave us a statement, and I emailed that statement to you. When I went to him to get a recording of to say as to why he was uncomfortable speaking in court today, he then changed his mind and said he would speak. And I said, okay, well, I will call you when it's time. We'll let you know when the court proceedings will be tonight, later on this evening. And that's when I called him and told him that it was in 10 minutes, and he came.
Well, unless you can prove that he lied, he testified under oath that he was not coerced or paid, that he was doing his best to assist my client. Can you prove that he was coerced? Did you see any payments? Did you subpoena his bank records? Anything?
No, the problem is that he's giving two different stories. Whether he's lying or not, he's not credible. Because he's telling you guys one thing and telling us another. So I'm
Does
just saying
this
that he's
change
just
the
not credible.
fact that your client assaulted my client?
So what we have agreed upon, we would like to agree upon, I'm sorry, is for, Mr. Tenpenny is under a lot of stress and duress. He had lost his brother, a lot of stress. He did have a lapse in judgment. We are asking for maybe Mr. Tenpenny to seek grievance counseling, and anger management, as well as the other officer, Officer Crenshaw. Now, he did strike the plaintiff in the back of the head after being antagonized, and he should have controlled himself. But the rest of the incident, Mr. Brown also participated in. If he was in fear of his life, he would have never stepped up to Officer Crenshaw with a special carbine rifle out. He was not afraid to get in his face. If you watch the entire video, so I would like to motion that the the $2.5 million is just crazy, and that my officers, they've been on the job a long time. Grieving counseling and anger management is what we
I
establish.
think that sounds absolutely crazy. I'm not gonna
And
lie. We
also
reject
Mr.
that
Brown
deal.
as well. Obviously,
reject
he
that
also
deal.
everybody has anger issues, I believe, in this city, and I think
If
counseling
he
for
has
everyone.
anger issues, he shouldn't be a police officer. He has to control his anger. Stuff like that
Right,
shouldn't
but he's
happen.
also human, and
Okay, and our
that,
client
that
is also
doesn't
human.
excuse the fact that he assaulted our client.
So what if
and
it was
caused
someone
a
not our
concussion.
client who couldn't take this to trial, couldn't,
And then listen, on top of that, bragged about it afterwards. All right, we can replay the footage for
made
everybody to
remarks.
see. They were proud
And
of
listen,
what
listen,
they did.
and he
Yes, they
also
had a lapse in
stated
judgment.
he also stated
So I'm
that
being attacked by both of you. Can I just talk to one
I'm
person?
sorry. Can I say this though? The officer also stated that you're up here with a lawyer like a bitch.
Mm-hmm.
So lapse of judgment that lasted for
Like-
how long?
Everybody was acting off of emotion. Okay, he's a human being, just like Mr. Brown's also a human being. All right, I don't think that
Unfortunately, there are some professions where emotions cannot dictate how you do your job. One of them
Your Honor,
happens
can I
to
say
be a
something
police
on that?
officer.
Your Honor, he also said after he beat my client, he said that you should be safe. Your Honor, you witnessed that. You were here for that. I don't, like after you beat someone, you tell them be safe. Like that's crazy, Your Honor.
Okay, so it's a lot going on with this case.
It really is. I mean,
Here's what I propose, all right?
you
Because
know.
now we're just going back and forth based on the testimony and what's clearly there.
Two against
This is
one.
what I
Go ahead.
propose. I do not mind if we get rid of the evidence of her clients harassing my client today. It does not change the fact that they assaulted him, and I'd like to continue the case based off of that. Now, Judge, whether you plan to hold that gentleman in contempt of court has nothing to do with the integrity of our case. That's up to you. But the fact of the matter is this: we are here today because the LSPD assaulted my client not once but multiple times, and multiple police officers joined in, used their hands in excessive force, and violated his constitutional rights.
All right. All right. At this time, the court would like to dismiss the evidence that was recently submitted. One thing on the evidence, it does show that Mr. McGillicuddy, as well as the EMS, you both lied under oath. And I do want to hold you of contempt of court. And I'm going to give both you guys 30 months calm serve for lying in my courtroom today.
Thank you, Your Honor.
I'm sorry, is that active immediately?
Yes.
Okay.
That's Dr. Hill and also Mr. McGillicuddy.
Judge, we don't have any further witnesses we'd like to call. I'd like to go ahead and wrap up with closing statements. The defense, of course, obviously would go first here.
Mr. Cash, you can leave the stand. The court would like to start with closing statements. The defense, you can go ahead and start.
They don't know who the defense is.
Miss Rodriguez, it's you.
I'm sorry, I was in my head.
She's sleeping, court.
No, I'm not. I'm sorry. What's the question? I'm sorry.
You can go ahead and.
We're ready for your closing argument.
Okay, as we've seen today.
Think about shot, please.
As we've seen today, with the evidence that's brought forward, my client is guilty of a lapse of judgment. And I think that because he is human, he should be granted some sort of grace. He's under a lot of stress, as any other person would be on a circumstance that he's dealing with the police force in this city. We are asking that that the judge shows mercy on Officer Tampady and Officer Crenshaw and offer grievance counseling and anger management. And on the behalf of LSPD, we want to apologize for to Mr. Brown for the assault that took place.
Thank you, ma'am. And can the plaintiffs start with your closing statement?
Absolutely. Thank you so much for hearing us today, Your Honor, and ladies and gentlemen of the court. Today, we sought to prove that the LSPD did not just have a quote-unquote lapse of judgment. Unfortunately, a lapse of judgment is something that you claim when you oversteam milk for a latte. Lapse of judgment is when you cheat on your wife for the first time while you're intoxicated on a trip to Maui. It's not when you assault violently a civilian who you swore to protect under oath, that you pledged your life to do a job and instead decided to accost an individual just because of the way that they were speaking. Now, the defense would have you believe that because these officers are under extreme pressure every day to perform, to make sure that the streets are safe, that it entitles them to be able to put their hands on anybody that they want and claim emotional damage. Unfortunately, there are several jobs in the United States and around the world where that just simply cannot be the case. Would you tell a surgeon performing surgery on your grandmother who slipped and cut a brain open or cut a major artery that it was okay because they were emotionally damaged? Or would you say maybe somebody else should have been doing the job? Now, to continue, I know that today there have been several pieces of evidence introduced that have been stricken from the record by actors who were misguided, and they indeed did have a lapse of judgment in lying in the court, but that does not change the fact that my client was assaulted by not one, but multiple LSPD officers right in front of the Mission Road Police Department. Hands on their weapons saying, I quote unquote will send these bitches, I am your father, and gloating over the fact that they beat my client senselessly. Nothing else that you saw today changes the fact that they did these things. Now, we are seeking a monetary amount. I will allow the judge to determine what that amount should be, should he side in our favor. The intent here is not to bankrupt the pockets of the city, but to instead give my client the support that he needs for the time that he did in fact have to spend away from work and for the permanent damage that he has to his brain due to the repeated hits to the back of his skull. That's it, Your Honor. We rest.
Thank you. All right. So one thing is this case was all over the place. It's pulled in so many different directions. The court would like to do two things. Number one, we are going to rule in favor of the actual plaintiff. We are going to reward him a cash reward. $2.5 million is way too much. We're not going to give you anywhere near that. We'll give you $500,000 awarded to the plaintiff. But also, because Detective Tenpenny, I'm sorry, it's Sergeant, right?
Either or, Your Honor.
Because the sergeant is under extreme pressure and stress because he actually lost his brother, we definitely want to... I'm sorry, can you take that mask off in my courtroom, young man? Thank you. Detective, we're gonna require you to actually take some anger management classes and some counseling because you need to get over the fact that your brother passed. You did show an extreme lapse of judgment, and I'm kind of disappointed in you. I just want to point out that citizens do have the right to say I'm sorry, you had something to say, Mr. Brown?
Your Honor, yeah, I want to ask, what about the captain?
Are we talking about Crenshaw?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, I'm about to get to him in a moment.
I apologize.
Impatient.
Detective Tenpenny again. I want to offer my deepest condolences, and I want to say that you should see some professional help to make sure you can grieve and get over it. And like I said, I'm disappointed in you for showing that extreme lack of judgment. I'm not gonna strip you of. I'm not gonna strip you of your badge. I'm gonna allow you to continue to be the police officer that I believe you can be, son. And I need you to go out here and protect and serve these citizens. And I need you to understand, and I need the entire police department to understand, as well as the citizens to understand. Everyone on both sides have the right to the First Amendment. If he wanted to call you, and I quote, a bitch, which is very, very disrespectful, by the way, Mr. Brown. You were antagonizing them. I just want to point that out. But also, that doesn't give you the right to hit him from behind, young man. And that first initial hit is the reason why I favored and the reason that the plaintiff actually got that money today. Also, for for Captain Crenshaw, want to actually have him to go to anger management classes as well, and at least for 1 month, both of you guys.
How many times a week, Your Honor?
At least 2 times a week, young man.
Yes, sir.
With that being said, case dismissed.
Thank you, Your Honor.
We got some justice today, y'all. Oh my goodness.
Congratulations. Okay.
Y'all did amazing. This is, oh my goodness. Y'all did amazing. Y'all did amazing. Oh my goodness.
I got a question. That EMS, he'll lose his job, right?
I'm not.
Look, are the police allowed to question a client?
That was fair.
EMS about his patient? Do they not have patients?
So it would have been normal for the prosecution, for the defense to reach out if they were going to add him as a witness, right? But all that stuff, like having
She said
him
that he made a
sign,
statement about what he did to the client. Like
that should have been done. I personally would have liked to have seen,
we didn't
in
see
order
any
for
of
it to
that.
be used in the court, for that to be have done in the court. You know
So
what
I don't
mean?
think he
In
should
front
lose
of
his
everyone.
job if they didn't even.
You know who needs to
pull up
lose
any
his
of that.
job? That Crenshaw dude. This is
Yeah,
the third or
Crenshaw.
fourth time he's been in this courtroom about his
Yeah.
actions.
Could you talk to somebody about
Anger
that? Like him
management
losing his
clearly
job,
ain't
that's
working.
crazy. When the police
Anger
who just beat this
management
man
ain't
didn't even
working.
lose his job. You know?
I mean, that is a captain. He's supposed to hold that sergeant accountable.
It's me. If we could do something for that gentleman, I feel like they threatened him, man.
To be honest with you, obviously
he was
internal
scared.
affairs is not even, they're not really keeping them in line. You saw the way she was outbursting in the court. I don't know what more we can do.
I
If
don't
the
know. I'm
person who's
scared.
supposed to be policing the police is ruling in their favor, regardless of what her officers did, I really don't know what else we could do.
Is there a date and time on when I'm supposed to get that
keep his
cash?
job, Miss Cash?
I'll speak with the chief of EMS if it does come to that, of course.
Okay.
But you know what? If they try to fire him, maybe we'll do a wrongful termination suit or something.
Yeah, most definitely.
So, all right. Is that it? We're good then. You gotta go
We're
collect
good.
your money.
Yeah, let's do that.
I'll take him.
Let's go.
Judge, you have a nice day.
Thank you, young man.
You did fine work
Thank you.
today, Mr. Mathis.
No problem, Mr. Brown. Mr. Brown, make sure you stop antagonizing people, son. You have
Yes,
to be
sir. I
nicer
was
out
just-
here.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I won't let you down, Your Honor.